Excellent. Right. Let me get the notes up. Because you had a fun time last week, if I remember rightly, and you had some nice plans, which includes a trip to the morgue. Funny enough, was it recruit a wraith?
Yes, I think Dante was meant to be helping me with that.
I'm not there for that, I think.
Sorry, Dante, not Dave.
Yeah, there was only two of you, weren't there, that were dealing with that. And
that's fine. That makes it a possibility of doing that, but yeah. Oh, that makes it easier. Ooh, excellent. I thought it was Felix, but no, that's not a problem. But that makes the right persons there. Right, so we'll start. Where are you? Oh, I wish I could get my brain into gear. Right. So, as of the start, you had all the various messages, didn't you, from that, I think William disappeared at that point, not to return for the rest of the evening. Some of you had meetings with people. Renata met the Major and had an interesting meeting with him. I think you told him about that, didn't you, Becky? The meeting.
Yeah, because the Major came back with Renata to the hotel and then got kicked through a door, which has never happened previously.
Oh yes, you had the unwanted visitor, as in the Nagaria.
Yeah.
Yes, who was a little sinister, to say the least. I'll put
gives
that
me
more.
the creeps.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, you had the night before that Pira died, didn't you, in a car accident? That's correct. Yeah, you got the message that Pira had died on the way to the airport, leaving the city in a car accident. Story goes she was hit by a drunk. Yeah, that was it. Two you went to meet, was it Philip, you and Dunstan? I think you did, Renata. You had a nice little discussion with him about a certain, was it a person, didn't you? Yeah. Wolf in sheep's clothing is the best way of discussing. I can't say openly what it was, but you had a discussion about it in your fellow, was it Giovanni's?
Mm-hmm.
And it was yourself and Lanza.
Yeah.
Felix had a discussion with Mr. Moreno, the businessman from New York, of which basically turned to nothing because basically you weren't useful to each other, basically.
I don't think it was quite that useless, because I imparted a little bit of understanding about the Hecata, I can't remember her name,
Oh yes,
the woman that was passing, because essentially I sort of passed on some information that he might find useful. Yes. So it wasn't
Lancer and
and I also said that I think it's sort of mutual. He didn't agree or disagree, but I said I'd sort of help him if he needed it.
Oh yeah, so, with was it guards, yeah.
Because if you remember, I went out afterwards and sort of met him.
Yeah. You had you had the phone call from from Mr. Winters, I think Christian Winters, who said that the committee and his coterie have been summoned to appear before the prince.
Yes.
That was correct. I don't think there's much else that happened. A lot of discussion was to do with You were going to get a Wraith to spy and commentate. Your discussion was saying you were going to take the battle to him. Make sure that he's on the back foot from the start, rather than what he's doing to you at the moment, putting you onto the back foot by playing the game of sort of hinting he's going to have a go at you, he's going to kill you, sort of thing. So you are going to do that. As part of that process is you were going to put on a fashion show.
He's taking the initiative all the time.
Yeah.
And I think we need to remove that and make him think that it's not quite going all his way.
We need to destabilise him a bit, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, more than. We need to make him really, really work for this, because at the moment he's so arrogant that he thinks he can play word games and all the rest of it. And really, we want to give him a good either theoretical slap or an actual one. But either way, he needs to sort of have to rethink things.
Yeah, that's where I think we left it. And in the background, Renata's going to do the show. I think it's going to take a little while to do it. You can't just put a show together. You've got to find a venue. You've got to put all the collections together, much as Renata did in Chicago. If you're going to do it properly. Yeah. Don't do it.
It's not going to be a rush job.
No, I think minimum of 2 weeks to do it properly. I think you also wanted to target his shoulder, which was not Philip.
Well,
Felix.
I mean, I think from Renata's point of view, it'll help establish like our group in the city, and it's also an opportunity, particularly with like the Toreador clan, to impress.
Well, the thing is, by causing some issues for him, I don't think we'll be in the bar getting rid of him. But if we could cause him issues, then there'll be a ripple effect. It does well for anyone then, depending on how powerful he is, and I don't really know how powerful he is, but the point is that's going to make a lot of people sit back and think that actually we're not quite as what maybe everybody else thinks is some sort of baby clan who keeping out of the way. Well, we need some
theatre.
Yes, because this thing with the prince having to take the Conte up on something is just another bit of this theatre of I'm more important, I get summoned. We need to sort of we need to put a big anchor, a big break on this, and give them something to think about.
Yep, and also as on a side point, to be really fair, you guys have been in the shadow of the Marchese up to now. You've just been an entourage, not exactly never been regarded as an entity in yourself.
Yes, so there's a message to have.
Yeah.
Renata's opinion would be that we'd have to do this in sort of 2 ways. So undermining the Comte is strand 1, and sort of ingratiating ourselves with people and getting our names out there is strand 2.
Well, look, I agree with both of those. The worst thing to make him fit, probably worse than killing him actually, is to make him look a fool. If he looks a rank amateur, because effectively just thinking ahead though, don't forget, once we all start this, it's going to end badly for somebody.
Yeah.
He's not the type to let it go. He might go away for a while and come back later with a new plan, but the point is, he's not going to take it lightly. But that's not just the point of all of this. It's not only to show him that actually we've got something that he needs to be wary about. It's what we show everybody else in that process that makes it more interesting for us.
Plus, as a side point, you need to make your mark in the city. You're still brand new.
Well, yeah, and for whatever reason, I don't quite know why. I couldn't even put a real figure on it, but I don't like this prince in waiting or whatever he calls himself.
Prince pro tempore.
Yeah, what a. I don't know why, but I just want to wipe his face in the floor. Just
please don't. Not.
No. I'm not. I'm trying to analyse why I think this, but the point is, at the end of the day, you have a sire, and so do I, and I've got certain orders on that front too. So yes, but that doesn't mean I have to like him.
I think the title Prince Pro Tempore means he's.
Isn't it something like before time, or?
Yeah, it means something like that. He's standing in for a
he's
prince.
the acting prince.
That's it. He's still
right.
He's still essentially Koresh, the warlord of the Camarilla. He's still that, and that's his rank. But at the moment, him and his coterie or his archons are effectively the military government. Hence why you're in the city.
So the interesting. Sorry, go on.
Hence why the city, it doesn't work like any other city. There is no primogen. There is no clan leaders. There's just.
I mean, maybe that's the opportunity. He's a warlord, not a diplomat. Politics will, one, bore him, and two, perplex him.
Mm.
Well, the other thing as well is, and I think there's a mutual thing here for our prince-elect and the Conte, is the fact that if they succeed, they mutually benefit each other. Because one is looking for people to swell his sort of standing, and he's going to get that from the Conte and potentially some of the Toreadors, maybe not all, but I think we've got to think that that's going to happen. But if you give Conte a bloody nose, what good is he to the prince? So the thing is, he's not. That's another. You sort of resettle all these potential issues that are likely to come out of it. Plus, you then look at Hikata being a little bit more. We've underestimated this one. So there's a lot to be gained.
We need to make ourselves indispensable, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
No, well, I wouldn't say that. For me, we need to keep that back on the back. We don't want to gush. There's no point in us gushing forward once we've somehow got the Comte, if it hopefully his nose out of joint, to join. I'd be strenuously against that. We still want to retain this air of independence, I would say. Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm talking like I'm a Hikata. I'm not. This is entirely for you to sort out. But at the end of the day, I don't like him, and I don't like the Comte. So, I think. Enough. But I was also brought in as a sort of help by the Marquinez, so I'm sort of trying to fulfill that role. Plus that's also what my sire has asked me to do. So, for now, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. I'm just going to check something here. So I just had a thought.
But it would do us a lot of good to resettle events and things by making the Comte, one, a fool, and B, useless to the prince.
I like that plan.
Certainly was it, yeah. I think what you've gathered is from the Conte, he has a status already. So he has the ear of the prince already, and I think that's made clear. I think William McLeod's told you that. So he's got he's got a position in the city you haven't at the moment. With a warlord, that can be a bit, it depends what he's doing that. And as far as you can tell, if you leave the main part of the city, there's little control outside, so it is only at the moment a very 49 square miles of downtown San Francisco that's part of that. Anything outside is that. I think we left you with that discussion before, and if I remember rightly, Felix wanted to ring what's his name straight after, and Red and Dante were going to go to the morgue.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what the Winters can come up with.
Well, I'll tell you the first thing. His phone. As soon as you ring the phone, it says this phone is out of action. This number is not recognised anymore. As in, I'm trying to think what the exact message is. It's when a phone has been deactivated, sort of thing.
Okay.
Well, no, actually not deactivated. Out of signal. That's it. As in, it's either switched off or it's not working anymore.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot what the message is. This phone. Phone is currently out of.
Is it longer in service?
That's it. I was trying to think what it is. So if you try that, the phone will not. It will be the same as through the night.
Okay. Yeah. So there's no opportunity to leave a message either, is it? It doesn't give you the option.
Really. If it was the phone was switched off, yes, you would do. But this is this is a bit more than the phone switched off. It's literally out of service. It's not there, so you can't. Or if you could leave a message, it would be a waste of time if it never came back, sort of thing.
Okay.
It's a bit weird. Some allow you to leave messages, some don't. It depends how they've set the phone. So I've had that before when someone set a phone and they just don't allow you to leave a message. And knowing this guy, he would have done the same. So frustrating when they do that.
Well, given the fact that I'm trying to shadow the Childer, if obviously I'll be looking out for him, I'll not try to contact him again.
No.
I'll wait and see what he does, if he does anything at all. But if obviously I see him in the context of what I'm trying to do with Rochefort, then you need to let me know, because I will be looking out for him.
Yeah, I remember where, well, the gallery is actually, that it's not going to be hidden by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, that worries me a little bit, but it gives me a starting point to try and to follow.
Yeah, it's, if I remember rightly, it is in the downtown. I think it's in there's a district called the Art District, somewhere around there. I forgot what it is.
I don't think it's far away from where I'm at, so I'd certainly know where it is because I've met him outside it. So, but I won't be standing out there waving a flag.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm going to be using the fact that obviously I know roughly where they are to then start that link to find it. It doesn't matter who, actually. Anyone I think's in his coterie that I can see that is still there, then I will start with them and then start to map everything and see where everybody is and who bumps into who and all that sort of stuff that I've already written to you about.
Oh yeah. No, that's safe. You've got most of the end of the evening is, or the end of this evening is free, because other than the phone call, you don't need to do anything as such. So you can watch the gallery, and it actually will be tonight. It'll be remarkably quiet anyway.
Well, what I would suspect is if they've gone off, because if they were going tonight to the Prince, then I'd probably expect not a great deal to happen before 1 o'clock. And then, so I'll probably sort some of my other bits and pieces out that I'm due to do before I sort of go back in that direction to do a bit of a watch. And then obviously see what happens. If nothing happens, then I go back.
Yeah, well, strangely, was it nothing will happen tonight? It's the only you missed. If they were there, they've either been gone as it gets near dawn. No one comes out, as such, so they must be ensconced either in their own havens or somewhere else. But no, it basically shuts down most of the night and is quiet.
Okay, fair enough.
For tonight it is. It makes sense, was it? He's probably licking his wounds after meeting the prince.
We don't know why he's had to go see the prince. So.
Yeah, you would have been told, but unfortunately the person that could have told you hasn't told you.
Yeah.
And now we go to Red and Dante, and I remember rightly, about 1 o'clock you were going to go to the morgue, and it's actually to be really fair, it's easy for Dante to walk into the hospital and easy to get Red in. They're not going to question a gentleman in a suit that's going in with one of the was it, especially a doctor with I think with some fame. So it will be easy to get to the morgue.
Okay.
Do you want to do this separately to the rest of the group, or you want to do this with the group around?
I don't see a reason to hide it as of now, so
no, that's fine.
Yeah, I can just run it with group.
Yeah. Okay, you basically go to the morgue. As you get to the morgue, Dante's beeper goes beep 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 beep. He looks at it and says he needs to go, and he will disappear basically into the hospital, leaving yourself alone in the morgue. There are a number of bodies around, and there isn't a peer there. She would have been probably taken to a even better class of hospital than this. Marchese is good at. In actual fact, would it make sense? In actual fact, it probably Pierre might be there, but it makes sense. Marchese knows that Dante is there. It makes sense. He might as well use the same hospital, to be really fair. Just in case there have been any issues, he already has a doctor there to do anything he needs doing and any paperwork that needs doing. So highly likely Pierre is in the hospital, or a body's there. As she died today, it will be. I don't think they would have done the autopsy yet, so she will still be in one piece.
Okay. So I'm in the morgue room now. I'm going to activate the ability, the binding fetter. It's free. Basically, it alerts me to the auras of an object which is spiritually significant for a wraith.
Okay, let me have a look. I think in there will be. You don't know what the bodies were. Pierre's the only one you recognise. The others are various gentlemen. One of which, most of them have been either gunshot wounds or stuff like that.
Okay.
As in, one will probably also, with a gunshot, would be probably to the head. There would be some obvious bruising on the body where something had hit him. E.g. it would be a gunshot due to under a bullet. A bulletproof vest sort of thing. Right, so this should show up any fetters, anything that is there.
Yes. So common stuff is certain types of jewelry. So, for example, a person who's been shot, if the bullet's still in his body, that might count.
Or is it badges? Anything like that.
Badges are also a common one.
Yeah. I think I'm just checking something here. Oh, I hate it. There will be actually a number there. Certainly among the, where the personal items are kept. Usually some of them are actually right by the bodies. The one with the bruising and the shot in the neck will have a badge, as in San Francisco Police Department badge?
SFPD.
That's it. Detective. It's easy to do with the name. You can manage the label on the body to the actual bag.
Okay. Oh, and if I can match the object to the body, I'll be taking photos of their face, or at least whatever's left of the relevant face.
Yeah. Here, I'm just looking if there's anything she has that she certainly has. Was it a lot of unfinished business, to say the least. In actual fact, with Pierre, there will be a. It's a gun, a Wolfer PK. Her Feto is a gun.
Sure, give me a sec. Walter PK.
Which means she had some unfinished business with a gun.
Is there anything particular with the gun, or?
No, it's just a standard gun, as in. I think standard.
James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's nothing particularly special about them. It was Feto. Feto, or was it her? I don't know what I mean by it. It's his police badge. Detective. And the rest, the rest of them seem to have finished their business on the earth. It's probably Pierre and this policeman who probably still had something to do, so still have links back. With Pierre, you don't know what it is. With the policeman, it's probably he was investigating something and never finished it.
Cool. Okay, I'll need to be able to remove the badge and the gun from premises.
Yep.
So I'm assuming I brought a bag with me of some kind, like a briefcase.
Yeah, you can do. To be fair, was it the morgue attendant will not be around at this time in the morning. Bodies don't exactly go anywhere. They're not. Morgues don't tend to be.
Oh, we know differently.
yeah, but no, there'll be no morgue attendant. So yes, you can easily pick them up to take the badge.
Great. So that's the badge and the gun taken.
Plus pictures of both. I'll do the detective. Depends what you do. I'll do details of the detective or Pierre.
Well, I'm partly removing Pierre's photos just to make sure no one else picks it up.
Yeah. Well, there is one that can do. Yes. Yeah, and you can walk out, and that should be fine. As they said, they won't turn a hair because you came in with Dante, and Dante doesn't come back for the evening.
Alright.
If you try to ask where Dante is, he's busy at the moment in surgery.
Okay, I'll note those down for something.
Oh, and the injuries on Pierre were sort of consistent with someone that had been in an accident, as in a car smash.
Okay.
Lots of bruising, damage to one side of her, as if she'd been hit from the side. She would have been back of the car. It looks as if the sort of injury is something like a T-bone. As they were going across the junction, someone drove into them.
Right.
Sort of consistent with someone who drove through a red light, sort of thing.
Okay. So I was just double checking something. Okay.
Yeah. That's all right. So that's that bit done. Excellent. And that occurs. So if you don't do anything else for the evening, the evening should come to the end. As far as Felix is concerned, the gallery is quiet. And near dawn, no one comes back.
Okay.
So if they're either somewhere else or they've been inside the gallery all night. So either was it the coteries there and they've decided to stay in one place, or they, as you said, they have their own havens and they wandered off to, was it their various, was it places around the city. They're not like Sabat. They don't all live in the same. They don't usually live in the same haven. And I think with Major, I think Renata's, the Major was going back with to your house, wasn't he, to sort everything out, as in the security, and the Putanescas, of which 2 are now with Dante and his house.
Yeah.
And the rest are with you, so you've got the other 6. Your
I just wanted to make sure that Dante was okay, because I was genuinely worried for a moment.
Yes, it could be entertaining to say the least. So, I think that'll be the end of the evening. If you've got nothing more to do, you all go to sleep. Could you all do your hunger rolls for the Thursday? If you use any willpower, you get 1 back for sleeping. Ooh, what have we got there? Oh, there was something. No, is it too late? Yes, it's too late now. Oh well. Actually, is it too late? Yes, it is. That's fine. Ignore me. Just do your hunger rolls. Oh, I'm in the wrong channel. Yep, Philip is fine. Felix is fine. Are you going to have a go, Becky, to see what you get?
Yeah, so it's pool 2, hunger, is it 1?
No, hunger doesn't. No hunger gets involved.
Okay. Difficulty 0?
Yes.
It's alright, I'm used to rolling D&D dice.
Yeah.
It's different.
It gets back when you use the revised system of using the D10s and the mounted successes and the minuses, stuff like. Yep. You basically, none of you was in the need to be fed today, so you actually start the day, was it perfectly fine with no issues. So the hunger only gets added on if you're doing any skill rolls, any disciplines. I can never remember if it gets added on
there. You basically substitute some of your dice on, say, ability rolls with hunger dice and that, and then you derive stuff like bestial failures, messy criticals, etc.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to do 1 for Renata, but I think that was it where did it by itself. It sorted itself out. Right. Let's now go documents. Right. First things first. Are you going? Is Felix going straight to the gallery again?
No, I'll do my early evening stuff first.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. So so that would be fine. Got you.
So it'll be probably after 11, something like that, before I'll actually go and actually
oh, excellent.
See what's what.
Right, I have a letter to give Renata. Oh yes, I forgot to mention Dante. Was it mooted that the Marchesi could have been responsible for the death of Pierre? He's not suspicious at all.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Dante was it at the start of one last time said implied it could have been Marchese that killed. Was it Pia? That's a
That was a very interesting comment.
Yes, I thought
somebody so
Renata
close.
will have told him to wash his mouth out because you weren't.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you did, yeah. But the point is that doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't a good question.
Mm.
Oh no, as a player, not at all. But as a character, Renata's not even prepared to go there yet.
Yes, I think Dante has a very healthy view of a very healthy view of the Marchese, or unhealthy view depending how you look at it. Oh, you're going to do this.
It depends whether he ends up in a car or not.
Oh yes, or fails and then meets someone
similar.
Yeah. Well, I saw what the price of failure was part with the Marchese was, especially if you're more.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit. What's the word?
Cliche.
You what? Sorry.
Cliche.
Yes, very.
He is
not really befitting.
In all fairness, he's an elder vampire. He hasn't seen a movie in the last years.
And he will do.
This is true.
He will do the old-fashioned method, as in. Yeah. Okay. That's a letter that from. That's a letter that you get from your uncle, Renata. You get a letter from your uncle, so that's for you to read through. And as you're reading through this, your servant sort of says, I've had. Was it how do you say? A message from the Prince Potempore. He would like to see yourself and the rest of your coterie tonight at midnight at the City Hall again. He seemed very insistent about the meeting.
Great.
I'm not going.
Would.
I wondered if you were going to do that. Say that.
Sorry, I'm multitasking one moment.
We're not having problems.
Sorry, was the request from the prince to meet us immediately or at a specific time?
Midnight.
Midnight.
He hasn't told you yet. Yeah, but you'll get told it's midnight at the City Hall, exactly the same place you met him last time.
Renata will ask Miss Sanderson to inform everybody of
the
need for a meeting and to suggest that we meet beforehand to discuss.
Where are you going to meet?
What time is it now?
It's probably be about 8, 9. But it's April, so...
So we got plenty of time, say, 11 o'clock at the usual hotel or
club
or whatever that we've been using.
Yeah. Plus the Prince Potempore summons. Yep, so you guys get a phone call from Renata's servant who will basically say, you've been summoned by the Prince. Renata would like to see you before she goes there, so would you please, meet at the Hilton, I think it was the Hilton Club, where you met before, to discuss what you're going to do when you, to visit the Prince, sort of thing.
Yeah, I suppose Philip goes to Hilton.
Yep. It's up to, does Felix go and have a listen into this meeting to see what's going on?
I'm happy to have a chat. If I'm invited, I'm happy to have a chat.
Oh yeah, you get called.
Yeah,
she said everybody.
Invited everybody. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Your servant also comes back and says that she's managed to get hold of William, but he will not be attending, and Dante, both of them will not be attending the meeting, as they're both a little busy tonight, and didn't, say why they were busy. Though she assumes that Dante's working in the hospital tonight again. And
William's off doing skulky things in skulky places.
She doesn't know what he's up to. But
well, neither does anybody else, but no. I'm sure he'll come back with something good.
Oh yeah, I've got to go and do a one-to-one with him. But she does say that he's talked to someone and he's been asked to invite yourself, you as a mistress, and the rest of your coterie to a meeting with someone that goes by the name of Jochen van Noys. I'll spell that out so you can. It's a Dutch name. Those of you who have been in San Francisco a little while, which is Felix and I think Philip, will recognise that name. He is one of the ex-princes, one that was deposed, and he said he wants to see you at around 10 o'clock at the central dome of the Palace of Fine Arts, the place where you had your party, your gathering.
Would meeting him potentially make us late for the actual prince?
No, it's 2 hours between that. It doesn't take him an hour.
Remember,
you're talking 49 square miles. It's San Francisco isn't Chicago, so it isn't a massive, city itself.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of time. You probably have to rush to this meeting after your talk. And so I assume you all appear around 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock around, as soon as possible at the meeting place in the hotel.
I'm veritably. Well, when do we find that out?
You don't find out, yes. Was it until the meeting? Because I don't think Renata would have passed that on yet.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Wait, so you...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you haven't passed it on yet. Club Hilton. All meet. Except, again, was it to Dante, and William are missing again. Do you take are you leaving the Major at home? Renata.
That's a good question.
And are you taking any bodyguards?
No. I will get the Major to join, because, security. And he can fit in with... He can take his favourite Putanescas he can pick.
The daughter.
I've got a feeling this might be one of those we need to show that we're not weak meetings. So.
Yeah. You'll take about two.
Having some bodyguards, enough so that it looks like you can have, you look powerful, but not so many you look paranoid.
Yep. When Renata appears at the meeting, she'll have the Major in tow and 2 Putanescas. Yeah. Everybody's there, so it's up to you what you want to discuss. And do you want to inform them about the second meeting?
Yeah, I'll tell them we've. It could be an opportunity, or it could be a trap.
Well, you won't find out unless you go.
Very true.
And it's up to the other guys. It's up to you to mention what's the significance of the name or not.
I mean, it's just a name to me.
Yeah.
Do any of you know anything of him? His clan, what he was like as a prince?
No.
I'm just going to take a random stab and see his Ventru.
Mm-hmm. And as far as you know, with him, the previous prince was a Ventru. He was removed by the Camarilla because he didn't do his job. And so was the previous Ventru before. I forgot what the name. It's Thomas, I think, is the one that followed him. And she didn't last that long either, and was deposed for exactly the same reason.
Because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Yep, they were supposed to remove the mandate, as in the Anarchs and the Eastern Vampires. They didn't do it. They failed to do that. It was the Prince Pro Temporal that finally did that with a military coup. It's the easiest way of doing it. So, in a way, he's a disgraced prince. And it's a bit surprising he's still in the city.
So, the two previous princes were removed for not getting rid of the Sabbat, or what was the other thing?
It was the Anarchs and the Eastern Vampires, as in before you revived.
Yes, I know.
When you were in Chicago, was it at that time, and probably New Orleans, the stories would be that San Francisco had been on overrun by Oriental, vampires? So they'd, as far as you had gathered, they'd made agreements with the Anarchs to rule the city. And Camarilla...
Whereas they tried the Ventru approach, which is deals, whereas Koresh came along and cracked some heads.
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
A little bit more effective and a little bit more brutal.
Sure.
And he still hasn't put the city back together yet. So yeah, it's like Chicago at the moment. Everybody's dragging their feet and not doing anything to find the prince again. For Renata, this is the second time you've been in this position. Right. So, are you going to discuss anything before you go on the meeting, or what are you going to say to the prince, sort of thing?
Which one?
The real one, the Prince Pro Temporal.
Well, I would say we've got two very unreal princes. But anyway, that's by the by.
Yeah, please don't say that.
We could open it with "It's all our fault. We're sorry."
I mean, what have we done?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's only what he thinks we've done.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Well, I mean, yeah. The Conte will have gone in there and sold him a pack of lies, obviously.
The second prince thing, I've got to say, strangely enough, is not unexpected, because one of the guys that was at the soiree, he was an independent Ventru. I told you last time, he wanted to meet, and he was basically thinking that I was going to be able to provide him with mercenaries. Now, he got pretty sort of disinterested when I said that was not the line of work that I was in, and effectively exited stage left, rather sharpish, really. So put those two together, and maybe he's not quite as independent, but he's a Ventru.
Yeah. I mean, our primary concern is going to be trying to get ahead of whatever the Comte says, because unfortunately he has influence and he's been able to get his story in first.
Yeah, but what you don't know, you don't even know what the story is yet.
I might be able to make a quick phone call. Give me a moment, and Renata will just wander off for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go into secrets chat for a moment, Andy?
You can do, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move everybody, move Renata down. That one. Right, I'll be back. Yep. What do you want to...
Could Renata have a go at ringing Savina Lanza to find out if she knows what Comte has told the prince, because she has his ear as well.
Yep.
She doesn't want to walk into the meeting blind.
Yeah, you can actually... Yeah, she'll answer. Good evening. Who's this?
Good evening. Apologies for telephoning you out of the blue. It's Renata.
Ah. What can I do for you?
We've been called as a group in front of the prince this evening. I have no idea why. I know you have influence in his ear, and I was wondering if you had any idea.
I think it is to do with the altercation with the Comte. Was it Charles? I think he's trying to suss out how far it went, or how far it is going to go. From what I gather, he's worried that it will escalate. I assume it's not going to escalate, because you can understand. I wouldn't be pleased about this, but it'd be a bit bad for the Hecata. You understand?
I do understand that. My concern is that the Comte doesn't understand that.
Ah. Play it by ear. Give me a call afterwards so we can sort of touch base to see what was said. It would be interesting.
Do you know what the Comte has told the prince?
No, all I know is that they met the prince. It was to do with their trouble. Beyond that, he hasn't said anything. Not to us anyway.
Okay, I just didn't want to go in blind and then put my foot in it, because I wear nice shoes.
No, it's been a good thing you called me, but I think all I can read in between the lines, he just wants to know if it stays, how you say, friendly, then there will be no issues. If anything does happen, as long as he doesn't see it, he'll do nothing about it.
My concern is that the Comte has no intention of leaving this alone. He's not the type of person to...
We'll see. As you said, if you want to discuss this more after the meeting with the prince, we'll certainly, arrange a meeting.
Thank you, and once again, thank you for your time, and yeah, I'll keep you...
No, thank you for keeping your clan leader in the loop. And she sort of hangs up.
Well, I don't like surprises. Yeah, I'll put the phone down and I'll go back.
Yeah. I'll push you back up there. Right, Renata comes back in again.
Okay, she's shown deference to one of them. Was that Savina?
Yeah, she'll come back and I'll say that I've managed to mend fences with Savina Lanza. That was the person who I just called.
Okay.
She has, as our clan leader, sort of locally, has the ear of the prince, an idea what he's going to. I don't know how far that goes. She's been here longer than I have. I rang her to get some information because I don't like walking into places being blind. So it's definitely that it's to do with Comte Charles and the Koresh, the prince, is concerned that things are going to escalate after the altercation the other day. I've said that my concern is that the Comte will escalate it and that he's the one who won't let it go.
Well, I think you're right. I don't think he's... It's probably quite a unique thing for him to actually have the potential of allying him, because he'll see it that way around. Karsh is going to see it as he's supporting him in being prince in the future, whereas the Comte might be thinking the opposite way around, but certainly he won't be thinking he's some sort of subordinate.
I think that the prince's main sort of concern will be that he doesn't want a turf. Well, not even a turf war, is it? It's just
it's exactly that. Just because the guys got rid of the Anarchs doesn't mean nobody else is competing. If you like, they probably all sat back for a while, watched him pace the living daylights out of the Anarchs, and then see what he's done. And then this is the next phase. Hence why Old Prince is looking. Possibly other independent Mr. Marino is also looking for hired help. And you've now got the prince is probably thinking maybe he knows that the other prince is still around. You don't know that. But essentially he's looking for allies. So the Comte comes in and he's got particular beef with you and Dante. So that's maybe quite not actually what Karsh actually wants either, because he's still trying to mop up any person that might be threatening his little position.
He doesn't need the Comte being a drama queen, does he, really?
No, but it depends what he then... The Comte, yes, drama queen, absolutely. But the point is, he's also not stupid. This guy has been around a long while. He is not stupid. And he's managed to survive. He managed to get away from the Inquisition. That's no mean feat. So the point is, he's also got probably cards up his sleeve. Machinations within machinations within machinations. But you've got... I think the thing there is, if nothing else, you've got to... Well, it's strange that he's asked you and not Savina. She's head of clan, and Marquez... Well, by the way, where's the Marchese in all of this? In terms of
you mean
hierarchy? No, hierarchy. Is he effectively third under Savina and some of the other people, or is he second? Is he first? Because he's not behaving like it.
He's. I mean, how would you describe it, Andy? He's high up in the family, but he's new to San Francisco.
He's new to he's high up with the family in Venice. But
he's a Giovanni, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
So he's of their family.
Giovanni / Hecate / whatever we're calling ourselves these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'm just under Savina Lanza, head of Hecate in brackets Giovanni. So I presume Giovanni's holding sway, at least here anyway. Yeah. So the point is, he's Giovanni. So where does he sit against Savina?
He'll
second, third. He will. So he is it then.
He won't outrank Ewan, because Ewan is a member of the ruling council. But the Marchese will have a lot of clout because of what he did. And yeah, he has a lot of clout.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a linear structure. It's not like my uncle is Savina's manager. It's not the way it works in family. It's weird. Power is where people think it is, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm trying to work out where decisions are likely to come from or be made, and who can effectively ad lib. So
I get more latitude than most Giovanni, because
his
Giovanni is a clan. Because I am actual Giovanni.
Yeah.
So I get more latitude than most to do what I want because I was born in the Giovanni family. And then embraced into the Giovanni clan. So I get special privileges. Not that I take the piss with them, I try not to. But yeah.
So you have a certain ability to act in your own state.
Yeah, I mean, I've always tried to sort of do things my own way. I've run my own business for a long time. I've made my own fortune. I don't live off family money. I live off my own. Everything that you see, the house, the cars, everything I buy is bought with my own money. Might have started off as a bit of a trust fund baby, but I've made it into my own thing.
Okay. I suppose we're just trying to work out if you, obviously, how much do you actually have to relate to Savina? As probably the most.
I don't.
Should we say?
I don't have to, because I mean, really, in terms of family ranking, I would outrank her on the basis of my surname, but in the terms of clan ranking, I don't.
You've been around a lot longer than you.
Yeah, exactly. But I've kept her sort of in the loop. Firstly, by means of an olive branch, because I screwed up on our first meeting. And secondly, we don't need enemies where we can make friends.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep her on side. I don't want her job. I don't want to run the clan in San Francisco. I've got better things to do with my time.
No, that's good. As long as she knows that, that's even better.
Yeah. Oh.
But the interesting thing is, you've got a meeting, because I'm not going, and you've got to decide quite well. I'm just wondering whether to. Has he actually told you this, Jochen van Noise? Where to meet? I take it he's not turning up here.
Do you remember the garden where we had the party?
Ponte.
Yeah, there.
Why is that such an interesting place for everybody? But yes, okay. Well, the thing is, you see, while you're at the Prince, I could have a little reconnoitre, just to...
Do you fancy a walk around the garden? Yeah, go for it.
I do, yes, just to see what may or may not be happening. It wouldn't do us any harm to have a reconnoitre a couple of hours before the meeting. At what time is the meeting?
What time did he say?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
No, it's not long then.
No.
Did you say, so this has got to be quick then, it's got to be over before the other meeting, and you've all got to get to the other prince then?
So the meeting with Van Noyes is at 10, and the meeting with the Prince Select is at 12, did you say?
Yes, that's time.
Yeah, midnight.
Midnight, okay.
So technically, you've at least an hour's worth of chat time with the old prince.
Yeah.
Some idea to work out whether it makes any difference to what you're doing in the evening, and then you've got to get to the new place, roughly.
Yes.
Right. So, if I throw my plans out the window and just head off to that particular place, and then what I'll do is, and all I'm going to do is watch. I'm not going to do anything else but see what's potentially may or may not be happening. So I'll just be observing and noting.
Can you check that there's nobody else lurking? Because my concern is this is a setup, so the Comte can say, "Oh look, she's meeting with the old prince. She's plotting against you, Koresh. You've got to do something about her." That's what he would like to see. Do you feel it's a genuine reach out with the Joachim van Noyes? I have no idea. I've never met him. He's literally a name on a piece of paper to me.
He will be just...
So you wouldn't even recognise him if you saw him?
No.
So what is he? Has he said, wear a black rose and I'll wear a red rose? How do you figure you're actually talking to the right person?
You don't.
Yeah, I just kind of assume that he knows me.
Right, here's an offer. If it is the Comte, then it's probably better that you don't meet. So unfortunately, you could argue I'm offering to be like a herald, if you like, in the sense of I actually go along and actually speak to him. The problem is I don't know. The reason I'm asking you is I don't know what he looks like, and who the hell do I? I presume somebody's going to think, well, he's standing around looking a bit like he's waiting for somebody, and somebody will come across. See, if he's the old prince, I would expect him to have his own entourage, some sort of bodyguard, at least two or three people in that.
You'll probably just get bundled into a car like people tried to do with me, but I don't accept that.
Well, no, I've got to say I wouldn't either. It would. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be a genteel form of arrangement. It's not meant to be thuggery. And I tell you,
what if we pull this then? What if you go to the garden, leave a second meeting time with Van Noyes, and then, or we use the time to change it to somewhere nearby, so that if there are people watching, then they're in the wrong place.
You can't contact him.
Well, technically could. What I would do is, if I was going to arrange to meet somebody, I would stick a message behind the front desk and just say, right, if somebody comes looking for, and I would give probably your name as opposed to my name, and then basically say, this is a letter for Joachim van Noyes, who's likely to be here. Now, even if they're sending somebody like me, they're still going to use those names. So the point is to probably get a message that way round. And I think that's probably better than just try. Because if he thinks you're stupid and that you just walk in off the street to something, is not going to go down very well with that, is it? Particularly if he's going to offer you some sort of the best you could hope for is some sort of alliance. But the alliance is more deference, isn't it? He's going to be potentially asking, well, I would have thought, for his old job back. So the point is, he's going to have to sit there and either promise you something, or certainly, or maybe do the opposite. Somehow cajole you into something. I think it's madness to just walk in. So I'm quite happy to sort of go in, have a look around, see who's there, and I'm expecting to find somebody there. Because they're not going to be stupid. They're going to do exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's whether I can just get around without being seen.
Okay.
So I could do that bit. You pen a message about where you actually want to meet him. And then at least he knows it's in your hand. Just make sure the letter is very, very innocuous. Yes, we'll have a chat. Something, snappy and happy, but not anything, no deference in it whatsoever.
Right, okay.
And then I'll deliver that to the front desk. Or if I get the opportunity to somehow get it to him without him seeing me, then I'll do that. But otherwise, I'll leave it in the reception, and then that's another thing to plan for the future. And then as well, pick your place for that meeting with care.
I've had a really good idea.
Yeah, I've just written something in the storytellers channel. Would you make a wits and alertness roll, please?
Oh dear. Okay.
Oh no. Yes,
just to be clear, where are we currently?
You're actually in the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Right, I know.
Roll the damn dice. Oh, there we go.
You notice, most definitely. So,
all right. Does it matter if anyone else needs to roll?
No, I think
Okay.
Philip certainly knows this person's here. In actual fact, he's he has a familiar, lady directly behind him, who at the moment is resting a knife on his throat.
Which him in this context?
Oh, yourself, sorry. As in...
Oh, okay, knife on my throat.
On your throat. As in, that's
Got you.
What's the difficulty?
0. Renata's noticed this, and you know who it is.
Is it Miss Wallenstein?
Yes.
Renata will just look straight at her and just say, put the knife down.
She smiles and drags the knife across, Philip's throat, basically opening up an inch cut. And she smiles.
What is wrong with you?
How has she done that in a crowded room? Or so she's just come out of nowhere and then cut his throat.
She appeared behind him from nowhere. The Major at the moment has got his gun out and pointing at her.
So what's happening in the rest of the room?
Did she cut my throat in a just like a slight cut, or as in an actual?
It's a slight cut. It's a scratch, basically.
Got you.
It will look worse than it actually is. And she sort of will lick the blade.
Oh, don't let her do that.
Why?
Beat her to a pulp. Seriously.
There's very little blood on it, but be fair. And she'll just turn around and walk out.
So, should we get moving to the princess meeting?
Yes, I haven't got time for her right now, but I'm going to solve that issue, I think.
The major turns her... Go on.
I'm going to follow her.
Yep, she just walks out of the hotel and down the street. Eventually, sort of... She doesn't do anything. If you follow her for the evening, she basically finds somewhere, a club nearby, and settles down for the evening. Quite happy, as far as you can see, to prey on... She seems to be, how do you say, flitting between people, almost as if she's hunting. But with your knowledge, Felix, it's hunting as in someone who's hunting for sport rather than hunting for as it need. She's playing. How long are you going to miss the meeting following her?
No, but I think she needs a lesson or two. Yeah, I'll leave her be, and once obviously Renata's penned whatever she wants to write, I'll deliver it. I'll go off to the, what was it, a golf club?
No, it's the
where we had the soiree.
Yes, it's the big,
right.
It's the central big dome in the middle. There is no reception there as such. It's an open area, as in it's open air, and when someone like San Francisco, even this time of year, it's be quite pleasant.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll when Renata's penned it, I shall. I'll tell them that I'll be keeping in touch with them, and then I shall basically, with all due reasonable haste, go off to that meeting. I want to get there as soon as I can, so I've got more time.
Where are you going to meet? Where are you going to actually meet him? Or say the meeting is?
Well, that's up to obviously Renata. But I'll be delivering the letter one way or another, even if it is straight up to him. And
they do night cruises to see like the Golden Gate Bridge and stuff. So it's moving.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to meet on a night cruise.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a really good idea. Well, the thing is, it then becomes restricted ground in the sense that you can only get so many people on there, and there's nowhere else to go to. So essentially, that means people have to behave themselves a little bit more likely, unless it becomes a complete utter bloodbath. But I think there's a genuine thing to talk here.
Yeah. No, I agree totally. So, are you going to write the letter, Renata, or we just take it as read? Yeah. The letter's written. Yeah.
Just take it as read. It's written. It's not going to be anything
spectacular. Was it a change of meeting? Could you meet us here, and we'll see how cooperative the prince is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Date and time and all the rest of it, and then.
Is it tonight or is it later tonight? You remember you got the meeting at midnight?
What if we set it for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too late. That's just deference to health and safety.
Yeah, that would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. At what time?
Early.
Yeah. So say about 10 p.m.
Yeah.
On a, or as near as, damn it, as in one of the cruises there. There'll be a timetable. On a, what was it? A sightseeing boat.
Yeah, I've just looked. They do boats where you can have dinner and then go round the bay to the bridge, and by the time you've finished all your courses, you're back in the city again.
Yeah. Was it sightseeing boats on the bay to see the bridge at night? Yep. Right. So. Yep. No problems with that. Okay. So. So Felix, the brave gentleman, goes and wanders off to the to the place at the appointed time. And what you're doing, as in when you look around the area, as in, are you just scouting out to make sure there's no one untowards round the area?
Well, I'm definitely looking for vampires. So that's how I'm going to differentiate things to see what I would expect them to do a recce in the same way, and then they're going to want to have a cordon of some description around the prince, so they're not going to want anyone, well, maybe to go either leave that cordon or to get in it, depending on what's happened. It might be that they just take one person to stand with him to be obvious, and then still have other people around. But I'm really there counting. I want to see who I think is actually around, who's, in his little retinue, if you like.
To be fair, he will have. He will have bodily. There will be a gentleman. Was it? Who is obviously a vampire, who will have about 4 bodyguards named him. Who will be the usual, was it much like the Puttanescas? Definitely mortal, definitely was it you would suspect are armed.
That's the 4 bodyguards.
Yeah. There'll be, as far as you can tell, you probably, only thing you'll see is there are other men sort of wandering around. You would have thought they're just generally keeping watch, doing, was it what you would think, watching the perimeter, making sure that you would think that no one's paying too much attention to what's happening in the centre. They'd even, was it sort of discourage people from going there, as in mortals, etc.
Oh, I see. Just a little bit of subtle intimidation.
Yeah, basically don't go in there at the moment.
I'm just writing something.
Basically to make sure that the meeting isn't disturbed. As in, you get a nice peace and quiet. And if you look at the meeting, he will do what typical. He will stand in the centre with the bodyguards behind him. He will point himself towards where he thinks you're going to arrive, which means the direction of the car park, basically.
I'm going to play a game. What I'm going to do is I need to check, particularly him. Is the gentleman definitely vampire?
Yes.
I don't think that's going to be the prince. That's just going to be somebody in his retinue. Check, shall we say, about... Oh, by the way, at the time that we're designated to be at the meeting, how soon did they arrive? Did they arrive after I did? Do I think they arrived before I did? Because technically, I'm going to go straight from the meeting to that the dome. Yeah. What? Take me half an hour?
Yeah. He will arrive 10 minutes before the meeting.
Only that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't get there any earlier.
No. He would arrive 10 minutes before the meeting.
Oh, right. So what's the time differential between me being there and having a bit of a look around and them turning up, as far as I can tell?
You would be there first.
Right. How long? Half an hour?
If you're half an hour before, they would arrive 10 minutes before the meeting, so they arrive almost at the last minute.
So they don't even try to do a recce, really? They've just turned up, effectively?
Turned up, and basically the two around the side are just making sure that no one goes near it. And that's all they do. They're basically just getting in, having the meeting and out again.
Right. So I'm going to, whichever way he faces, I'm going to come in from behind.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm literally going to do, it's going to be the quickest thing out. Celerity.
Yeah.
Straight in, drop it in his pocket, straight out the other side.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let me have a thing here. I'm just going to roll something. See if...
Technically, if he either sees a small amount of me or none of me,
yeah,
that's what I'm looking for. I want them, in a sense, not, if it's possible, that they couldn't recognise me if they saw me again. Now, I'm sort of thinking that's probably quite a lot, but that's the aim. See what we do.
Which is really interesting. So, that is 2. Jammy git. Yeah, he certainly knows of your presence. Guards are sort of none the wiser, but he sort of he noticed you basically, and
that's fine. It's what he noticed. If he noticed a blur, that's sort of quite what I'm aiming for. If he noticed my face, that's maybe not quite what I was wanting. But
no, he won't notice your face. He knows that someone's come in, put something in his pocket, and gone out. That's as far as you think he knows.
Okay, I will then find a suitable tree to stand by, and then I will look to see what they do.
He's basically pointing where you went, and was it ordering the one guard to stay and the other 3 to find where you are, if they can see anything.
Okay. Well, I just stand as rigid as
a tree. They're not going to find you, basically. He sort of picks, if you watch him from where you are, he picks the note up, reads it. Looks a little, was it annoyed about it. Sort of folds it up. Sort of shouts his men, and he sort of skulks off. And they make sure they're watching as he skulks off. E.g., like a president has just been shot, sort of thing. As in, they're sort of watching as they go off.
Okay, that's pretty much where I wanted to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that
And
was
when he leaves, then I'll move.
Yeah, he's gone. If you watch them, they'll get into the car and it will sort of go off at speed.
That's fine.
So, yeah.
That again leaves them guessing as to capability.
Yeah, I like it.
Once I'm out, I'll just send a text to everyone saying message delivered.
Yeah, excellent. I like it.
Yeah, thumbs up, Renata.
Yeah, message delivered. You missed. Yeah, you didn't see that. That was. I like it. And depending what he wants, there's not a lot he can do about it either. To be fair, he's the one.
If he was expecting deference, he's not going to get it to start with. He's going to have to earn it, and it depends what he's going to do. Plus, if it was a little bit of a trap, then it was probably something they couldn't then spring. And of course, it puts the identification of anyone we don't want actually to see a meeting. It's almost indistinguishable. So
I like it.
Kept it down to the minimum.
Yes, he's a one. Yeah, and he isn't Prince, so you can actually get away with it. Try doing that to a Prince, and that would have been a whole new ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have been. The anger would have been incandescent, as in lots. Right, I like that. That's definitely got to be put down as a nice one. Okay. In the meanwhile, you guys make your way off to the other meeting. Well, you have a little time before that to kill. So
you want me to go out of this?
No, it'd be fine. Again, if you just do the usual thing of leaving the phone on, so you can hear what's going on, you certainly can do. They're not smart enough to. They're not after phone. They're not after looking at phones. They're after looking at guns.
Have them to search Renata's handbag.
You just hope.
She would throw a proper wobbler if someone searched her handbag.
Yeah, you did last time, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it be a fool to do anything? Yeah. So you go to the hall, city hall, same routine as before. There's the guards at the outside. They disarm everybody who as certainly the Putanescas and the Major, who seems quite happy. It's not a lot he can do, to be fair. And you go in, and this time the Prince has a nice big fancy chair, so he looks the part. Round him are his 4 Archons. All look very serious, including the Prince. And he sort of watches you until you stop.
Step forward and give a slight bow.
He sort of bows back, watches you for a little bit, and starts. I have summoned you here so I can get answers to some questions. I would appreciate that you answer the questions truthfully. What is the nature of your disagreement between yourself and the Comte Charles Dudefort?
I met the Comte, the gardens, at my sire's welcome party a few weeks ago.
This I do believe. And what happened?
Oh, I mean, it's a bit embarrassing, really. I don't like speaking ill of people, particularly people who clearly have influence in the town, especially as I'm new. But unfortunately, the Comte made some rather unfortunate comments about my very good friend who is Nosferatu. My cousin Dante took exception to that, and I think Comte Charles has possibly taken it more personally than it was meant.
So it seems. And lucky for you, that's much what he said yesterday when I saw him. It's a trivial matter, and I warn you now, you keep it that way. If there's any trouble, I will make sure it'll be the last thing you do. I came here to impose the peace, and I will keep the peace. If that means you meeting your final death, so be it. So you have been warned. Deal with it. Deal with it in a quiet way. Make sure it does not spill out to anything more than that. Do I make myself extremely clear?
Absolutely.
Good. And when I said all the coterie present, I meant all your coterie. Do you understand? I don't like members of your coterie not turning up. I'll let it slide this time, but if they do it again, I will bring them here. They either come here, was it voluntarily, or I will bring them here in chains. Do I make myself clear?
My apologies. My cousin was unavoidably detained in surgery.
So was Nosferatu not here?
Unfortunately, I do not know the answer to that question.
Sort of half smiles. Though, to be truthful with Nosferatu, they do have a habit of disappearing.
Yes, I've noticed that.
So, you're dismissed. And remember what I said.
Many thanks for your time, and Renata will bow again.
Go. You're dismissed. And the Archons will step forward and they will escort you out.
That's fine.
I suppose once you're outside, that went better than I expected.
Yep, and you are accosted by a gentleman who looks... remember the gentleman in the greeting that never talked to you? I think if you look on the Camarilla, things, there's a gentleman there that didn't talk to, and he's sort of sitting there waiting for you. He's in a suit, and he sort of walks up to Renata. He says,
sorry, just to be clear, which gentleman on the list here?
Aha, let me have a look. It should be under Camarilla. And, oh no, unknowns. He may be under unknowns. Yes, he's under unknowns.
Oh, pardon.
Yeah, that's why. Meet the Watcher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've got to figure out what his name was. This is what I could do with a decent index to my folder. That's it, found it. He sort of bows in a thick Dutch accent, say Renata and companions, I assume. You wouldn't mind me asking you a quick question?
May I ask who you are?
He sort of puts his hand out and says, I am Mr. DeWitt, like yourself, a creature of the night and a member of, well, the only Tremere that's present in the city at the moment. And he's sort of I know you as Venata, as in your Hecata, and not all your companions are here. But that's by to by. I basically would like to inquire about do you know of someone who is interested in buying books to do with the occult?
Books?
As in, I use a supplier here and someone else is doing the same as I would do.
Okay.
Just to be clear, is he just talking to Renato?
Yeah.
Got you.
Would any of you know of anybody who would be interested in such books? I ask because if it turns out to be a Tremere, I would like to meet this person.
Well, it's certainly not me. I know my clan and my family have a certain reputation, but it's most definitely not me.
Anybody else here? Was it as in your friends?
Renata will look at you all.
Actually, looked at Philip. Yeah.
It depends. What books?
On the occult, hermetic, magic.
Philip shows a very blank look.
Thought so. If you do, he sort of hands you a card. It has his name and it's Joachim. No, it's Joseph Franz DeWitt and a phone number. And he says, if you do, please give me a call. If it turns out to be a Tremere, I would like to talk to them, as I've been given the unenviable task of, how you say, fighting the Tremere in the city on behalf of our clan.
Forgive my question. I assume you can't just walk into a bookshop and say, may I have some books on the occult, please? Where are these books?
You have to know which books to go to, which shops to go to. They are, how you say, specialist bookshops.
Right.
If you know how to find the bookshops, then you know where they are. And I think this one is, oh good grief, I've forgotten what the name of the gentleman is. Oh, he's thinking I should. It's a Dr. Fritz. It escapes me at the moment. But he sells antique books. But anyway,
okay. I might be in need of some antique books for my house. Not the occult kind, just
yes, the gentleman would certainly sell such books. As in, was it a? Yeah, no, they do more than just that sort of book, if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
But yes, if I remember, I'll give you a call.
That'd be good. I have a study that's in need of a few more volumes in it, I think.
I may even help you find some appropriate books if you were so in. It would be an interesting distraction and a good way to get to know yourself and your companions.
And any sort of books on art of, Renaissance art's always nice.
Indeed so. We'll arrange a time, I think, and we will go on a trip there, I believe. And nice to meet you, Renata. And who are you, sir? And he looks at
Philip Dunson.
Ah. Well, is it nice to meet you, Mr. Dunson? And I have to ask, to which clan do you belong?
Clan Hakato.
Two the same. Nice to meet you, is it? I'll give you a call to arrange a meeting.
Yes, great.
It is. It is a pleasure. Unfortunately, at the gathering, I never got a chance to talk to you. You seem to be very busy with others at the time.
My apologies. It was a bit of a interesting and full-on evening. I didn't manage to circulate as successfully as I was hoping.
It did have some interesting moments, and I gather the Prince was not too happy about certain events. And before you ask, it was not myself. I keep myself to myself. And he sort of bows and wanders off.
Is this chap a vampire?
Hmm?
Is this chap a vampire? Yes.
Oh yeah. He said.
May I ask to which clan you belong?
I think he said
Clan Tremere.
Clan Tremere.
Oh, he said Tremere, didn't he?
Yeah, he said. If I didn't make it clear, I'm Tremere, of the house Tremere. And sort of said bows.
Yeah.
He's as Tremere as you can get. Books. And he will arrange a book buying. Buying, was it? Book buying, was it? What do I call it? Book buying evening at the antique bookshop. And Felix, if you're listening, you've heard all of that. Oh, where's my phone going beep? Okay, so that's it. So what are you guys going to do for the rest of the evening now? Because it's after you know the message has been passed by, was it Felix?
I suggest that we have a meeting in either a secure club or another hotel so that we don't get Wallensteined again.
Yes. Yeah, you can find. Go on.
When we get there, Renata will just explain that conversation about the books in that somebody is buying occult books, and I've got a feeling it's the Black Madonna. It might be a way to track her down.
Yeah. Is Felix actually going to turn up for the meeting, or is he going to be busy? Yes.
Once I've delivered the notes and the message, I'm sort of waiting for somebody to contact me because I don't know what's happened. Well, all right. Technically, I've understood what's gone on with the Prince, but you would probably relate to me a little bit more about what's going on.
I would have dropped you a text with a meeting point after we were done, just to loop you back in as to what's happened.
So then it would be a case of meeting up somewhere in the middle then, if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Wait, let me have a look. There's loads of places. You could even pick a place at random. It's as simple as that. If you use it, just we'll go there.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Essentially, that's probably the best way, but if you suddenly say, we'll go there and choose those, and there's cafes, restaurants, there's clubs. there's even what's it? There's a club called DNA something. I forgot what it's called. DNA Club. So there's a lot of what's there. Was it? So you've got a great choice of places. So you just choose a place at random, and have a meeting in the hope that you're not followed by a certain person.
Yeah, I mean, if we're I assume that Renata's either being driven or driving. She would have told them to throw some zigs and zags in the route that we take.
Yeah. At a random place. Yeah, you get there. Was it the Major will and the Putanescas will actually wander around during the meet rather than standing over you, sort of thing. So they'll be actively seeing if there's anybody there that shouldn't be there. Him doing his sitting at the bar looking like an agent with a cigarette in hand and a just for the part martini, shaken not stirred.
Of course.
Which he can't drink, but it just looks good. He just looks the part, sort of thing.
Yeah, Renata just sort of has her back to him and just sort of rolls her eyes slightly and then just carries on talking.
He takes the part very seriously. And the Putanescas are generally just watching and walking around, making sure that no one disturbs you.
So Renata will say about the conversation with the Dutchman, Mr. DeWitt, that she really doesn't give a stuff about Italian Renaissance art books. What she's actually wanting is to find out if he can remember the name of that bookshop, because if it's somebody who's getting loads of books on the occult, that could be the Black Madonna, and it could be a way of tracking her down if we can find out where that bookshop is.
Yep, he would certainly take you there. So it's an ends to the means, in other words.
Yeah.
I'll type the gentleman's...
I mean, Renata will buy the books because
she can.
I mean, she can, yeah.
And I'll just type the name out. It's actually Joseph Vans DeWitt. And he was Tremere of House Tremere. Yep. He did actually emphasise Tremere of the House Tremere.
Yeah, I was typing at that point.
Yeah. Outside the clan, you don't know why that's important, but it seems to be important he seems to emphasise that himself. And I think...
I assume it's like with Renata, it's Giovanni of Clan Giovanni, it's a bit of a flex.
You mean that's an Hecate of the family Giovanni, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's at Hecate first, and was it Dunson's another one, and the Putanescas. You haven't got vampire Putanescas. You've just got the ghouls. Oh, you horrible animal. Bear with me here. I've just had an animal leave a poo, so if you just bear with me here. Oh. Leave. Out. Come on, out. Callie couldn't wait. No, leave. Right in the middle of the oh, bloody hell, Callie. Leave, guys, leave. Oh, you little... You've bloody gone quicker than I can get to it. No. Little buckets. I'm halfway through at the moment. give them full opportunity to go before. I'll do a proper thing after. Come on out, guys. Come on out. Sorry about that, guys. I've just had the dogs, leave messages everywhere. So I had to clean it up.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Oops.
What annoying is we let them out before. We let the one out before we got there. Sorry about that. It's a bit of a break I didn't need. But hey. Oh, where was I? I've lost the plot now. You were talking about, was it finding out what the name of the bookshop?
Yeah, because it might be a clue to the whereabouts of the Black Madonna, possibly. I could be touching at straws, but we'll see.
Well, was it, it's like yourselves, was it Hector will be like the Tremere, as in, they'll certainly be interested in occult books, etc. For slightly different reasons. Certainly not demonology, certainly books of the dead, etc. The more was it things. It could also be your masked friend, as in the what's it? Which is the one you mentioned at the start. It could even be him. You've still got to locate him, which you haven't yet. So, are you going to do anything else for the evening? You guys, after your meeting, or are you just going to go and hunt? Or generally just, was it, well, Renata can get on with doing what she needs to do for the rest of the evening. You've got an event to do that. I think if Philip's character does a, I think it is a, does in his own channel a, was it
Oh, okay. It's part of the extended role you asked me to do?
I'm just trying to think what it was. I think it was intelligence.
I'll roll it. No, just in a moment.
Yeah, I think it was intelligence and
difficulty 0.
Yes. And I'll just note down that means you've got, as you said, you've got things to do, and this is correct. Let's have a look to see how many you've actually got.
Is it possible to use willpower on this sort of thing?
No, this is literally...
Alright.
This is literally you working at a time, so it just goes through that, so excellent. That's not too bad. You've only got yep, you've still got to wait. It basically reflects the time for you to do the process, what you need to do. So
yeah.
You spend the rest of the evening starting that bit. So far as you're concerned, after the meeting, you can spend the rest to the dawn doing that. So for you, it's not going. It's a bit boring as role playing goes, but it means that. And Felix, now after the meeting, are you going to go to watch the gallery?
Yes.
You're going to have an interesting evening. I will tell you that now. You'll probably arrive there about 1 o'clock after these guys have gone all the way through the meetings, and as you watch about 2 o'clock, you will see a number of people go in, 4 or 5 people, of which you actually a young man and a young lady go in, which you remember from the meet and greet.
The one with the purple hair.
That's it. They are memorable. A girl in a hoodie. So it's 1, 2, 3.
They were Hikato, weren't they?
a woman. And that's it. So 4 people go in around, was it 2 o'clock? And at probably 2:30, you'll see the what you expect to be the child of the Marchese go in. At no point do you see the Marchese leave or go at that point. You watch for another hour, and around 3 o'clock, was it, as you watch the actual, was it the gallery, you see it's a lot of flickering lights inside, and you can see that the smoke is now sort of billowing out of what you would think would be chimneys, or was it, the air bricks. It looks as if the place is on fire, and it very quickly goes up. In less than about 20 or 30 minutes, the fire is now, sort of out of control, and you can hear now, sirens and various fire department trucks and police sort of coming into the direction. At no point do you see anybody leave, certainly not out of the front. Do you go all the way round to see if anybody's left?
Yes, I'll try and get on high as well, if I can at some point.
There will be buildings, you can look down on it. At no point do you see anybody come out of the building. You see them all go in, but as the fire rages, no one came out.
Okay.
And after, I said, half an hour, by the time the fire engine comes, the whole there are police, there's fire engines, the whole place now is it is well gone. It's as if an accelerant has been used, because the way the fire was spread, it was fast.
Right.
And how long do you watch it? Do you just watch it till dawn?
Not quite. I might be fascinated, because at least I'm far enough away probably not to be bothered by it in that sense, but
yeah,
because it'll be it's a bit like a fascination as well. So I'll drag myself away, probably give myself an hour to find my spots.
Yeah.
It
is, whatever's happened was very quick. Ooh, why have I got an extra? Oh, I know it is. Yeah, so they all went in, and it's been.
So I'm pretty sure it was Janek and Sabine.
Oh, as in
that's the purple hair guys I was talking about.
2, you saw him as Chelder, 1 other woman go in, so 4 went in. 4 or 5 went in the end, because 2, the 2 you saw in those, 1, the young lady in the hoodie you've never seen before that went in. There was a woman you've never seen, she was actually in a business suit, went in, followed by the Chelder about half an hour later. At no point did you see anybody exit the building. Soon after the Chelder there, probably around 3 o'clock, half an hour late after you walked in, the fire started. It took hold in less than half an hour. By the time the fire engines come along and you're seeing it, as you said, you won't get near it for obvious reasons, but it really is going well. Fire brigade, when you leave about an hour later, are still fighting the fire, and as far as you can see, there really isn't going to be anything left of the building by the time the fire's finished with it. Someone's done a good number on it, in other words. Ooh.
I think that's a bit of a ruse, I've got to say.
Yep.
Well, I don't see anyone come out.
Yeah.
But I did see 4 people going. I look for potentially reporters before I leave.
There will be reporters.
Somebody who looks a bit like the press or something else like that.
Yeah, there will be reporters there, as in taking pictures.
If it's at all possible, because they're not likely to have, San Francisco Chronicle on there.
No.
But if they do, I'm trying to see what paper they're actually from.
I'll find it.
Is there a car park somewhere close that might have a logo on the door? Or
there will be. I think it's the Chronicle. I think, or the Tribute. Let me have a look. I forgot what there is one main paper. Let me have a look.
I think there's a couple actually.
Yeah, one I can remember. No, it's not that one. I forgot which one. I think it's the Tribune. I'm trying to think when I can find it. It's going to be that one. Inquirer. I got it wrong. There would have been the San Francisco Inquirer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I think is one of the main ones there. But yeah. So for some reason he set the gallery alight.
I didn't see the children until. So that's the Rochford I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's gone. He was in.
He went in, but he didn't come. Well, he seemingly didn't come out.
That's the thing. You probably couldn't get near enough to know if anybody actually did go out or they.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he did. Basically, I'm going to cross-reference the article that might be written and potentially the bodies that might be found to see what was found.
Yep. We could do that tomorrow anyway. So Felix watched.
It's going to be something notable, isn't it? And obviously they'll obviously start some sort of investigation once they put it out, which will probably be tomorrow.
Yeah.
In which case, somebody from the press office will obviously ask, and they might actually say how many bodies they've found.
Yep. So you saw 4 people go in.
You said 5, didn't you? 4 to 5.
4 that went in at 2 p.m. which was 2, the young man, the woman, this hooded young lady, and a lady in a business suit. And the 5th one was the child there, who went in at 2:30 p.m. a.m. Sorry, p.m. It's going in the afternoon now. Went in about 2:30 a.m. The fire looked as if it was set with an accelerant. And after an hour, the building's destroyed.
So that's my focal point lead gone. Could be anywhere then in the city, but I don't think they're. I think that was for show.
You don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, rather convenient that the one person I'm trying to look for suddenly gone up in a house of flames.
Yeah, and if he's done what you think he's done, he's just destroyed himself and his whole coterie. Literally almost covered his tracks. And it was done almost the day after he talked to the prince.
But I didn't see De Winters, did I?
No, you didn't see De Winters go in.
He's part of the coterie, or was?
He was, yes. There was no De Winters went in. So there's at least one missing. that you don't know about, and that was De Winters, Christian De Winters.
Yeah.
And if you try his phone, it's still exactly the same.
Okay.
And something else has also gone out of the window too. And that's still on the notice board. Was it? That's still there. Okay. Right. If you're not going to do anything else for the evening, guys, are you going to inform the other guys about this before you was it?
Oh yeah, of course I will. Yeah.
You get guys. The rest you get a call from. Was it Felix? Basically says the gallery's been burnt down.
Can I suggest we all get to somewhere where we can be seen right now?
There's only about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to dawn.
Shit,
yeah. You're busy. Was it? You're busy. Well, you're in a public area anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at home.
Yeah. And what you're doing is, if they really pushed it, you're busy, was it, sorting stuff out, so you'll have other people there. And others outside who will know you're busy. Little annoyed that you're doing it late in the evening. But they're quite used to you doing that.
Well,
actually,
I mean, I'd imagine a lot of Renata's business is like in Europe, so the time difference might help.
It actually will do. It means you can talk to people in Europe and you can arrange. So yeah, it works very well in actual fact. What half the time is getting some of your more newer collections done on there. I said there's also the other suggestion is you can start to what you wanted to do new, which was the link it to technology, of which you've got to figure out who's actually in Silicon Valley at some point.
Yeah, that's a long-term goal though.
Yeah, but that's, as you said, with the thing like the event, that would be a very good way of actually, drawing people in. You now know you've got one name of one Toreador, one name now of Tremere. I'm not too sure if the Prince would do that. He might do, just out of curiosity.
I mean, you don't not send him an invite. That's a very bad move.
Yeah, if he actually arrives as another matter sort of thing. Fashion shows won't exactly be his forte.
Renata would say to everybody that she's worried that the Comte Charles part of the reason for this will be to try and blame it on us and say that look, they've escalated it.
Yeah, but there'd have to be something to tie you in to that. And technically, you were with the Prince. You've got like a get out of jail free card.
Very true.
You can't be in two places at once. I mean, technically, you might be able to rush, but the point is, you've been.
Dave, where were you when we were talking to the Prince? Where were you when we were talking to the Prince?
He was.
Which one?
The actual Prince.
The Prince pro tempore.
Yeah.
See, that is not an actual prince. There are no actual princes.
He can call a bloodhunt. That's prince enough.
He certainly can. He's a warlord, so he could do probably worse.
But regardless, where were you?
Well, I was on my way to the Dome. While you were at that meeting, I was scuttling around the Dome trying to figure out who was coming, going, not going. Then obviously I delivered the message. Probably you'd come out a little bit after I delivered the message.
Okay, and sorry.
Roughly.
And the art gallery and the Dome are separate places.
They are.
Andy.
Yes.
They certainly are.
One's in the town centre, the other one isn't.
Great.
It is. They will be some distance apart.
Well,
I I spent time then after I'd done my bit with the letter to go over there. Now I was sat there watching probably for an hour or so before the people started to go in.
So you were at the scene of the crime, so to speak.
I was at both scenes of both crimes. Let's not try and faff about.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can't prove
And
where
what are you actually
Nosferatu...
suggesting by that, by the way?
Okay, well...
You can't prove where the
Present
Nosferatu
me
is.
this. Do you have any proof at all that you didn't start that fire?
Since when are we actually going to... well, you could say I didn't start an avalanche in Switzerland.
I'm looking at this from the perspective of what the Comte could blame us for.
Well, the Comte doesn't actually know much about me. The only time he's actually seen me good and proper was at that soiree. After that, I've not really been around him.
We also can't prove where Dante or the Nosferatu were, so same issue.
Well, and it could, who's to say it's, well, and I'll hold my hands up, it was not me, but it could be just, well, A, it could be an accident, B, I think the Childer at least has had some part to burning it down. I think they just covered their tracks. The interesting thing is De Winters is not around and not contactable. So I'm wondering whether part of it is the fact that they've got rid of him. Because he was the one... Well, he wanted to get out, doesn't he? So he was going to be a loose end for them if he didn't hold his nerve. Or they somehow found out that I was contacting, or he was contacting me. Because don't forget, he actually contacted me to start with.
I mean, is there a possibility that the Childer have had enough of Comte Charles and they've set this massive fire as their way of getting out?
Well, I don't think they're... Don't forget, it's his Childer, so it's very, very difficult for him to actually work against his own sire. Particularly one as arrogant and probably as domineering as he's likely to be. So on that front, I wouldn't trust the Childer. If you stood them next to each other, one's definitely going to be in the pocket of the other. It's not going to... We were hoping to see whether the Childer wanted to effectively get out, but he's under a certain element and sway, isn't he, at this particular point? He's possibly not going to have... Well, even if he had the guts to do it, it's going to be really, really difficult for him to... Because how many decades has this bloke actually been under this guy's thumb? So on that front, I think he's... Well, I would certainly think he's involved in covering tracks. Whether they know, and that's the other thing, they might not even know that I'm starting to stalk them. But it's a bloody good way of stopping me because I don't know of any other places that there are. I was hoping to use this as a means of finding out other places because they're always going to come back here at some point. Well, here now no longer exists.
Well, regardless, Renata, could you call Miss Lanza and explain to her that this wasn't us?
Yeah, sure.
Why would you do that?
Because the prince literally told us yesterday to not do this sort of thing.
Oh, tonight. As in 3 hours before.
Oh, 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
My point still stands.
Yeah, exactly. It's even... He's told you not to do this.
How can I say to her that, oh, there's been a fire in Comte Charles's gallery that happened about 40 minutes ago and I had nothing to do with it?
Yeah, that you don't want to say anything. No, absolutely nothing.
You've got to call her anyway, just to say what happened in the meeting anyway. You did promise.
Yeah.
But on that, but you don't say anything else, You've got to act like you have not got a clue.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
But don't forget as well, I've only contacted you at the end of the evening. If you were supposed to have that conversation before the end of the evening, you would have probably spoken to her and you wouldn't have known. Wouldn't even figure for you. So you would just deliver whatever rendition of the meeting you were going to give her, and that'll be that. You'll only find out pretty much in the last hour of the evening that something's happened at all.
Yeah.
So on that front, you know, you're going to act surprised.
It is going to be a total surprise.
Yeah, we'll be out of order time-wise, but yeah, you're probably right. I would have rung her when I got home.
And you would just have told her what had happened. To be fair, she won't be surprised.
Yeah, I would have told her. I would have told her what I said, and
yeah, no, she won't be surprised.
Could I also ask her what she knows about the Nagaria? Wallenstein.
The
Wallenstein.
She has no idea who you're talking about. She knows that the Marchese has had one working for him, and that's all she knows.
Oh, that's my mistake. I thought she was one of the local Hecate. I've got her mentally pigeonholed in the wrong place.
No, it's all she knows is she arrived with the Marchese and she left. As far as she's concerned, she left with the Marchese.
Right. Okay.
She's a bit.
No, that's my mistake.
So she doesn't know. No, she doesn't know. She thinks she's to do it. So yeah, as far as she's concerned, she's gone.
Okay. And yeah, I'd just say about how the meeting went with the prince. She'll be very honest and say that I don't think I'm his type of person. I don't think he likes me. But he's warlord, and I'm more of a diplomat than a warlord. So possibly he just doesn't understand the way that
we work.
The alternative, yeah.
No, she will say she tends to concur with you. He will have a very black and white view of this, unless the subtle does less of the subtlety of the Hecate and other princes. In a way, it makes it me.
Renata will just tell her that I'm just going to
keep your head down.
Do my best to keep my head down and out of his way, because he's never going to be my best friend, I don't think. So
no,
he can do whatever he wants to do.
No, he just repeats it. Just don't let it escalate. If it escalates, then you'll be beyond help.
Well, I have no intention of escalating it, but I can't speak for the Comte Charles, unfortunately.
No, we'll keep a weather eye on him too.
Thank you.
Well, he threatens, if he threatens one of our clan, if we like him or not, he threatens all the clan.
I'm just, as I said to you earlier, I just don't think he's going to let it go, and I think he's going to make it escalate.
Well, all I'll say is I'll have to fight the whole of the clan.
Okay.
Yep, I'll leave you to it. As you said, at that point, you wouldn't have known the fire was it going.
No.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good place to leave it, I think, because it leaves you at the end of the evening. It leaves you at a point you've got to decide what to do, and that seems a very apt place to leave it at a high point, if that makes sense.
Well, don't forget as well, the next day we've got said meeting with other prince.
Other prince.
Oh yeah.
Well, other prince in wait. Well, yeah,
prince in
waiting, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. It just strikes me that's a good place to leave it, because it leaves it at a cliffhanger. It gives you probably 2 weeks to figure out what you're going to do next. Yeah. And he's done it again. He's gone and done something very unexpected. That's assuming he got out of that fire.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, it's complete hash. It's meant to throw suspicion. The interesting thing is, for all of you lot that were at that meeting, is the very thing that he asked you not to do has happened. Now, tell me why that is such a coincidence, because it's not. The whole point there is somebody's literally... Well, somebody in his court he's either agreed this with said prince has set you up, that's what their meeting was about, or he's taken somebody in his court has basically said, we can use that, and then have burnt it down. The only thing is, you see, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't know it. In fact, I still haven't told you where there is. You know what? I've said this all along. I've said this all along that I always thought this was a bit of a ruse, because why would said Samich come out and basically say, this is, and I'm now sort of qualifying it because I'm now telling you, this is where my haven and the Comte's haven is. You didn't know that. I've never known that. Until now, I have confirmed that.
Yeah, you didn't know where the gallery was. There was.
No, I've never said.
No.
No, good point, actually.
So, you have deniability.
This is true.
And even under Auspex, you'd not show up as a liar.
No, because I have never looked, so...
No. And you didn't send a major to look, so he never looked.
No.
Oh yeah, as you said.
The only thing is, none of you can say that I know. Because that might be misconstrued.
Yeah.
And I reiterate for the second time, it was not me.
At that point, I'm going to stop the... Was it recording? Let me just close this down. And that's officially the end of the session.